Imagine with me for a second that you're in a room of darkness, complete and total darkness. You think that there's no way out. There's no one else there with you. You're all alone, trapped in this room by yourself. You become numb to all feelings and emotions, almost as if you're empty inside. This sounds pretty scary and unpleasant. These are just a few of the thoughts that run through the mind of a person who has turned to suicide as their only way out. I've never personally felt these thoughts, but I have been affected by losing someone in my life to suicide. Suicide needs to be taken more seriously because it is becoming a leading cause of death, with startling facts to prove that, and how it affects the lives of other people. It is heartbreaking to think that more and more people are turning to suicide, but the facts don't lie. Suicide is becoming more common, claiming lives every day. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, over the past 15 years, the total suicide rate has increased 24%, from 10.5 to 13 per 100,000. Each and every day, there are 121 suicides per day, and each year, 44,000 Americans die by way of suicide, according to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. In 2014, there were twice as many suicides as there were homicides, according to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. Age and gender can also play a factor in suicide. The American Foundation of Suicide Prevention states that men die by suicide 3.5 times more than women, and white men accounted for 7 of 10 suicides in 2015. Among women, the highest rates of suicide occur between the ages of 45 and 64, while among men, the highest rates of suicide occur between the ages of 75 and over. Overall, in 2016, the highest rate of suicide occurred in the ages of 45 to 64, while the second highest rate of suicide occurred in the ages of 85 years and over, states the Center of Control for Disease and Prevention, or the CDC. While there are a few methods of suicide, one has remained common. According to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, firearms were the most common method of suicide in 2015, accounting for a little under half of all suicides. The next most common methods include choking, which also include hanging, and poisoning. These are some pretty scary statistics. And with suicide becoming more common, it is important to look at how it affects not only the life that has been taken, but the lives of all the other people affected. With suicide becoming more common, many people are affected by that, and unfortunately, I am included. But before I get into that, I would like to talk about some of the things that cause people to take their own lives. According to the Suicide Awareness Voices of Education, or SAVE, mental illnesses are common throughout America. Mental illnesses can be a direct link to suicide. Suicide and depression have always had a strong link between one another, as research has shown. A diagnosis of depression elevates a person's risk of suicide. Other illnesses that can increase depression include bipolar disorder, PTSD, schizophrenia, and borderline personality disorder. Suicide affects more than just one person. Each suicide intimately affects 6 other people, according to Mental Health America, and sadly, I am one of those 6 people. Back in 2009, when I was only 12 years old, I lost a dear friend to suicide when she was only 15. She was a person I always idolized and I looked up to, and I was absolutely devastated when I found out. Being only 12 years old, I didn't exactly understand what was going on. She was one of the greatest people I had ever met, and I couldn't understand why she would do something like this. I remember at her funeral, almost the entire school was there, principals and teachers included. It was heartbreaking to lose such a beautiful soul at such a young age. I never realized how much pain she was really in, and I kicked myself for that every day. I'm sorry. I kick myself for that each and every day. There are many warning signs and actions to take if someone you think you know is going to commit suicide, and I really wish I would have taken those more seriously. Mental Health America states that any one of these actions does not necessarily mean that a person is considering suicide, but several of these symptoms may indicate a cry for help. These include verbal suicide threats, such as, "You would be better off without me," or "Maybe I won't be there." Expression of helplessness or hopelessness, personality change, previous suicide attempts, depression, or giving away of prized possessions. If you suspect that you know someone that is going to commit suicide, trust your instincts that they are in trouble. Talk to them about your concern. Communication needs to include listening. Ask direct questions without being judgmental. Never leave that person alone. Determine if they have a specific plan to carry out the suicide, and get professional help even if they resist. Never swear to secrecy. No, do not act judgmental or surprised, and do not try to counsel them on your own. After everything that I have shared with you today, whether it is the startling facts and statistics or the story about me losing a dear friend, I hope that you realize that suicide needs to be taken more seriously. Each and every day, people are taking their own lives because they feel like that is the only way to make their pain stop. So stop being judgmental. Love one another. Always realize that you don't know what another person is going through. And if you or someone you know is considering suicide, please seek help. If you or someone else you know is considering suicide, also call 1-800-SUICIDE or 1-800-273-TALK.